Hello. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for your patience. I was having some technical difficulties, and I'm just not that savvy when it comes down to the computer and different things like that. So I just thank everyone for joining, and I thank everyone for your patience and staying on and bearing with me while I go through my first conversation. My name is Shanequa McCoy, and I am so excited. I am so excited for today. And I am the CEO of the Ultimate Experience Production Company. Let's clap it up, guys. Yes, yes, yes. I finally took a leap of faith and I stepped out and I started my own company where I will be producing my own plays and everything when it comes down to the arts. And I'm just so excited that I stopped being afraid of the calling of on my life and stepping out on faith. And I had an idea, excuse me. If I want to have conversations with some people, that I grew up with, some new friends, some old friends, just intimate conversations about music, writing, and everything arts and fashion and different things like that that I've been interested in my whole life. I am a writer. I'm a musical playwright. I don't just want to say I'm a playwright because when I do write, I write to music and I play the whole scenario and the whole scene in my head. So I think I'm more than just a regular playwright. I think I step outside of the box and I like to go outside of the box. So that's something that I do. And I'm just so happy to be here with you guys. I'm so happy to see some of my friends and family on here. I can't see who's on here, so I can give you a shout out. I just want to say that I love you guys. And thank you for bearing with me once again with the technical difficulties that I was facing trying to get on this live. But I just want to talk a little bit about my brand. The Ultimate Experience is a production company, like I just said, and I started it some time ago when I realized that this was more than just um, talent. It was actually a gift from God. If you was to ask me would I would be writing, the answer would be no. Under no circumstances did I ever think that I would be a writer, especially to this magnitude at all, because reading and spelling was just not my forte in school. I really actually thought that I would probably be A&R or a music manager. That's what I was really going for. I'm really good in that area as well. But God had other plans for my life, and it was writing and bringing biblical stories to life. So right now, I am on a process and a journey of writing. Actually, I finished writing one of the biggest stories that I think that God has ever gave anybody that is in this area or in this industry of writing, and I'm so grateful for that. So I am in the process of of getting that project off the ground. I do have a team, and some of my team is probably on here. I just want to shout you guys out for taking some time out of your busy schedule to be on here with me. But yeah, the Ultimate Experience Company is because I want to be able to give people an experience when it comes down to biblical stories. I want to be able to give you guys an experience. I want to be able to give you guys an experience, not just coming to a play and getting up. I want you to be able to leave and feel like your life has changed and feel like God is doing something in my productions. I'm a visual person more than anything. I had to really, really get a love for the Bible, and God had to really, really start to open up these stories for me in order for me to really identify actually with the Bible, because when I was growing up, I was so confused. I didn't want to read the Bible, but now so many stories in the Bible. I just think that the Bible is like the best reading material that you can get into. If you have not gotten into reading the Bible, I admonish you to do that, because the stories on top of stories on top of stories. If you felt you read a hood novel, or you ever felt you read any type of novel, it does not trump the Bible at all. So that's Shaniqua. I'm a writer. I'm a musical writer, and I started my company, and I'm proud that I started my company. And I just wanted to have conversations with people about their gifts and talents and different things like that. A lot of times we don't have an outlet for that. To have those conversations as people that are very, very talented out there that haven't had, you know, the the right people in their corner to just give them a chance. And I'm just here to do that. I had to learn all of this stuff on my own. I did not go to school for the arts. I did not go to school for writing. I didn't go to school for any of those things. This is really something I had to learn on my own, and I love it. I can't even lie. I love it. Let's see if we have any comments. All right, greet some of my daughter is on. Hi, Sky. I love you. Thank you for joining today. Hi, Pastor Gertman. Thank you so much for joining. I am so overwhelmed. Hi, Mom. My mom is on. I thank you for joining me tonight. Hey, Asia. Thank you. It's my sister. I love you so much. I just really, really thank you. Hey, Free. I'm shouting you out. Thank you so much for believing in me and jumping on. Hey, Eb. I love you guys. Wow. I'm overwhelmed. Hi, Shawnee. That's one of my crew members. Hi, Evan. I'm just so happy and I'm just so overwhelmed. And yes, tonight, where my sister is going to join me today. And this is not I'm not saying that this is just my sister because I'm just saying that it is the truth. This is my sister. I was raised with this family and I adore them and I love them. And she's definitely going to jump on here and we're going to have a nice little conversation. Um, just about the arts and the art of writing, whether you write music or you write songs or you write plays or you write books or you write poetry. We're just going to talk about the art of writing and how you get your inspiration, who you get your inspiration from, if you get your inspiration from the Bible. But we're just going to talk about that and we're just going to talk about the arts. And I just can't wait for her to jump on here. I have a question. Yes. What is your inspiration to start writing? All right. My inspiration to start writing actually just came out of nowhere. I wasn't even into plays. I didn't go see Broadway plays or off Broadway plays or anything like that. I just picked up, actually, I just picked up the pen and the paper and I had an idea and I just started writing. And I can't say my inspiration came from watching someone. You know how someone inspiration of a singer because they watch Whitney Houston for so long, of Brandy, or someone who plays an instrument. I don't have that story to say. My inspiration came from Tyler Perry, or my inspiration came from David E. Talbot. Even though after a while he became someone that I looked at as a mentor, even though he wasn't my mentor, but he was my mentor. If you get that, but um, I I didn't. It was God given, and that's all I can really. Only He can get the glory for it. It was God given, because like I said before, it wasn't something that I said I was going to do or set out to do. I honestly really thought that I was going to be a music manager or a A&R, because I did that so good, and I did. When I was younger, I helped get one of my friends, signed. So I love the music. I love that, and I really thought that that's where I was going. I thought that was going to be a career. I thought I was going to be um like Wendy Goldstein, or y'all don't know who she is, but she's from Capitol Records from years ago. That's who I thought I was going to be. I could do hair, I can sing, but I didn't want to sing. I love being behind the scenes. So I thought that was going to be what it was. But God had other plans for your girl. Yes, He had other plans for me, Shanequa from the Bronx. And I just followed His plans. I followed what He told me to do in spite of my issues with learning. I still follow what God told me to do. And it was difficult. I'm not going to sit here and say it was not. It was difficult to hear something, to visually see something. And sometimes you can't always write it on paper, and you have to go to the dictionary. You got to do this and you got to make it come alive. And I remember the first play I wrote. My best friend, shout out to Celia Brown. It's been my best friend since we were 7 years old. I sent her the script to read, and she could tell you it was a bunch of mumbo jumbo on that script, but she understood where I was going, and she knew there was a call on my life, because she knew that this was not something that I wanted to do. So you remember the story of Moses. Moses did not want to go and lead the people because he had a speech problem and he did not want to do that. But God had other plans for him. So I think God he likes to be in the business of taking your weakness and make it your strength. And that's what he did for me. He took something that was my weakness and he made it a strength. And anyone who has ever been to any of my productions or read any of my scripts would tell you what I write is only God can do it. Only God can do it, and I'm grateful for that. I'm really, really grateful for it. I'm able to write 100, 200 pages, and that's only by the grace and glory of God. And He gets all the praise for it. I can't do anything else but give it to Him. And sometimes I feel that He designs it that way, where only He can get the glory. And sometimes, He gives people gifts and talents. It comes without repentance, and then all of a sudden, you're not the same person. So, in this story, in this situation, I cannot give myself any praise and glory. I can only give it to God because without Him, this would not be possible at all. At all, would not be possible. So, I'm grateful for that. And I never have another question. Wow, what was some of the best advice I received to encourage me to push beyond my self doubt? Um, for me, I think it was after the play was done and the audience telling me, "You're anointed to do this," or "This is so prophetic," or "This was my story," or "This is my story." And I think that what pushed me more. My mom and dad pushed me, but that's what really pushed me is the audience that witnessed my work and was there to tell me, "Girl, you got something. Girl, I believe in you." Even when still wasn't believing in myself like I was supposed to believe in myself, but it was the audience and it was the prophetic behind it because I write prophetic as well. It's not just I'm just writing something that God does. It's something where I call it a download. And I call it my Enoch experience, where He takes me somewhere where I'm not here and He downloads all of this information on me and I just start writing. And I'm writing to music. Music is always in my ears. And I'm writing to whatever music I'm here, I'm making sure that song fits in with that play. I just don't pick a song because I think it fit. It has to actually fit. I mean, I have to listen to the words. It really has to fit for me. So that's another thing that how I write it is it has to fit. Everything has to fit. The next set of words following the ending of the song has to fit for me. So I go through this motion of I'm not talking to nobody, I'm not speaking to nobody. I just gotta have this music in my ear and I gotta hear God. In my dreams, I can sleep it. I mean, in my dreams, I have visions and different things like that. And that's how God downloads my productions. They're really actually downloads. He takes me through an Enoch experience. He takes me in, he takes me up. He shows me what he wants, and that's how I get this. That's how I get the productions. And this production that I'm working on now, I will not give you guys all of the information because I really want to do everything, right. But I'm telling you, this production that I just finished writing, and I'm in the process of getting it developed and everything like that. And God has opened them so many, so many, so many, so many doors. I'm not gonna give the information. I'm not, Bobby. I promise. I love Bobby. He's my creative director. And he's just heaven sent. God sent him to me. I know He did. But what I'm working on now, I can't wait. I cannot wait to share it with you guys. But what God has downloaded me and trusted me with, and even with this play, and going through different Bible scriptures and different things like that, I'm learning there's so many scriptures in the Bible as about trust and about the secrets of God and how God wants to. He wants to give you his secrets and mysteries. See, people make it seem like, oh God, he don't want, but He want to be able to trust you. He wants to be able to trust you. So with this production, God had to get me in a place where He can trust me. And He was able to download on me. And I'm just grateful for it. I'm really grateful for it. So, like I said, be on the lookout for that. Yeah. The announcements and stuff is coming soon, so just be on the lookout. So who else is in here? Somebody say something to me so I know who else. Shay, I saw you, Shay. Thank you so much for jumping on. Raymond, I saw you. Thank you so much for jumping on. My what you said? Your research of the Bible. Yes, my research of the Bible. My like I said, when I grew up in the church, I could not stand the Bible. I'm not even gonna sit here in front. I could not. I just thought it was a bunch of gibberish, and I couldn't understand nothing. This didn't make sense. It was so contradictory. And still, until I started breaking it down and getting other versions of the Bible and piecing everything together. And I'm gonna intro. Oh, my sister is here. I'm so excited. My sister is in the building. I think I had enough of me talking and ranting about the ultimate experience, but my sister is in the building. I want to introduce you to Anaysha Figueroa Cooper. I love her so much.
Hi,
Hi,
guys.
Nay.
Hi. Oh my God.
How are
I'm a
you?
wreck. I'm a little bit of a wreck, but y'all have to excuse me because I will do anything for my sister. So, hi everybody. Thank you for waiting for me and getting in here and letting me come on. Let me still come on. I've had an extraordinarily crazy day. But I am here and I am ready to talk to you and I'm ready to have our ultimate experience conversation.
I'm
And
so excited.
what you got? What you got?
I'm so excited. First, I was having so many technical difficulties in Asia,
Okay.
so
So,
trust me.
so
I
you
just
probably,
got on here because
probably waited for me.
yeah, we had to wait for you. God knew what he was doing. Yeah, so I didn't write any bullet points or anything. I just wanted us to flow.
Yeah.
And the
Hmm.
theme for this conversation would be the art of writing.
The art of
You
writing.
being the art of writing. You're a songwriter.
Hmm.
You have done so much in this industry. I'm a playwright. So
Hmm.
even though it goes hand in hand, it's still different. And I wanted us to chat about, how you write a song versus how I write a play. You can ask me questions because I'm gonna
Hmm.
dig into you and ask you all the questions about how you even come up with a song. So
Mm.
I know, like, first let's talk about how long we knew each other.
Mm.
Because I want people to know that you're not just someone that I just met.
Oh no, no,
These
no.
conversations are intimate conversations with
Yeah,
people
no.
that I love and I knew for so long. So let's talk
Yeah.
about how we first, you know, how you
Hmm.
became my sister, my little sister.
Well, I am your little sister because I feel like from since I can remember, you and Tim have always been sisters. And
Hmm.
so I remember my parents kind of letting her hang out and go out. And I used to be like, oh, I want to go. I want to go. I want to hang out. She'd be like, absolutely not. You cannot go. I'm like, why? She's like, I'm going to Mount Vernon. I'm going with Shanequa. I'm going with this. I'm like, oh, that definitely. If you're going with Shanequa, that means I can't go. I
Right.
understand. I understand. So I feel like we literally started way back then. Then God allowed you to have a baby,
Yeah.
and God knocked you up.
He knocked me up. He knocked me up for the Figueroas. I keep
He
saying it.
knocked you up with my son. I don't know how
Uh-huh.
that happened, but it definitely happened when Shaniqua had Jameen. Literally, we literally felt like we had a baby. He literally was the cutest. We used to call him Applehead.
Applehead.
He literally was the. I mean, he has your face right now. He
Yeah.
was the cutest baby, and he was the sweetest, smartest, just coolest baby to hang out with. So we literally adopted him. We would take him on weekends. We would take him on trips, and we would take him everywhere. As long as we had his strawberry milk, we was all good.
Yes. Strawberry
We was
milk.
all good. I can't tell you how many beds he ruined with strawberry milk, clothes, outfits, car seats that he ruined with strawberry milk. I'm sure if he's
Yeah.
very embarrassed right now.
I know.
But that's how far we go back. So as long
Yeah.
as a little bit older than your son, that's how far we go back.
Yeah. I think I was
It
13 when
was
I met
just
him.
really, really cool for you to even allow us to be a part of his life like that. I don't know if we gave you much of a choice, but just for you to just being a mom now, like I just can't imagine like let my kid go. My Timothy gets on me all the time. She's like, you used to take my kids and just disappear. I never knew where they was. Now you don't want nobody to have your kids. I'm like, I don't know how y'all did it.
I
I
don't
don't know.
know.
I don't know
Maybe
how
because I
y'all did
still
it.
was young and running the streets. So I was like, oh, y'all want them?
And
Go take them.
y'all knew that y'all kids was gonna be completely safe
Yes,
and have the best time with me.
the best time.
So I take great pride in the kind of auntie that I am. But that's how we started. That's how it
Yeah.
started. And it wasn't until till I became a teenager, until I realized how talented you were and how gifted you were and what an asset you were even to your church at the time and to your pastor. And I think that's something, I don't know if we touched that at all yet, but just being able to be under guidance and under leadership and underneath people who we can be inspired by and who can kind of lay groundwork in our lives and kind of
Mhm.
inspire the small seeds that are inside of us and kind of wake those things up and water those things, so that
Yeah.
when we become of age, you need somebody to kind of see something in you when you're younger, so that when you get to that place you can say, oh, that seed was already planted in me, that seed of writing or that seed of music or that seed of
Right.
filmmaking or directing or whatever it is, that seed was already placed in me. So now it's just really, really time for me to kind of walk into that. So I think that's kind of our basis where we
Yeah.
started.
Uh-huh. Right.
Hmm.
Because when I was, yeah, I was 13 when I met Tim, and
Oh
because
my God.
Pastor White, Bishop Michelle White, I never forget,
Hmm.
we had a convention and Timothy
Hmm.
she was coming to preach, and she said, she got us all in her room. A bunch of us was like, my friend's daughter's coming, and y'all know how y'all could be nasty and stuff, and y'all better not speak her wrong. And I was like, oh my God, we didn't even do that. And from that time, Tiffany's plane landed in Florida. Me and Tony was like this. You couldn't tell us apart.
Stop.
So yeah, but yeah. So let's get into the music. Let's get into the music.
Mhm. Okay.
Anaysha, I remember this is crazy because the first time I heard your sister sing,
Hmm.
I used to be a part of Mother Horn Church, which was crazy because
Oh
I
my
think my
God.
mom told me that you guys was.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, so
We
I
was
was first.
so young. We didn't even
Yes,
know who was in there.
nope. That's
Wow.
where I come from, and
I never
that's the
knew
first
that.
time. That's
Wow.
the first time I heard Timony sing. So we had to be
Okay.
like 6 and 7.
Hmm.
And she sung then. And then later on, I heard you singing as you got older, and you sung Holy Lord
Oh gosh.
from shout out
Danny
to
in the
Danny
Easton
Easton
day.
and
Yes. Shout out
Abundant Life.
to Danny.
And I was just
Mhm.
looking at you like, this is crazy. Like,
Really? It's what is this
I
little
mean,
girl
look
talking?
at May,
Why is she
yes,
singing
but
like she know what's going on?
singing like she know. And I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Like this
Yeah.
is bananas. And
Hmm.
then, as time went on and you grew and you started singing with Alicia Keys, and then after
Hmm.
that, you started singing with Kurt Franklin, but then you started doing your own stuff. And I
Hmm.
remember you had a project with Cheryl. Sister?
Hmm.
Yes,
Sisters in the Spirit.
Sisters.
SIS.
And there was some songs on there that I still play to this day.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So when did you start writing? Like, what was the first song that you wrote?
Oh my gosh. What was the first song I wrote? I should have been prepared for this. Hmm. You know what? No, honestly, with me, like, if I kind of want to start at the basis of writing for me, my grandmother was a great writer. Tina
Mm,
Gates, my mom's mom, she was a phenomenal writer, and though people who know her know she used to write plays, she used to write skits, she used to put on skits, she used to write songs, she used to write music. So I think I kind of um grew, I kind of came up under her love for writing, and I kind of
mhm.
started finding, when I was younger, that writing was so expressive, and I was always able to sing and always able, to kind of talk and communicate, with my people, but it never was like it was with the writing. Like with the
Right,
writing, it always made me feel like free, like I never had to like put on anything, or I never had to like be something that I wasn't when it came to writing. Like it was
right,
always something that I could be my true self in, and it was all, and it never, I didn't, honestly, I didn't even realize that I was decent at it until I got a little, honestly, until like social media. Like
okay,
when social media came out and I started like writing and writing captions and writing comments and writing, then it kind of gave me, it was even like, I don't even want to date which social media platform, because that's just going to take me out of here right now.
Right.
But being able to write, I remember the first, I do remember this. I remember the first time, I can't remember what year it was, but the story will tell you how old it is. But it was the first time you were able to like write your own bio and put it on the internet.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
No, it was like literally when the internet just had kind of started like getting for like people our age, and you were able to write your own bio and you
Um,
could put it up there. I don't remember what the platform was,
was
but
it MySpace?
I want to say it was MySpace, or it might have been like a little bit before MySpace.
Black
But it was
Planet?
like, see, I feel like Black Planet was like right,
Right,
right over me.
yeah,
But I feel
it
like I
was.
might have been on it when I wasn't supposed to be on it or something like that.
Right.
But no, I definitely remember it being like social media where people would say, "Oh, no, you're really good at this. You're really good at how you express or how you put words together, or whatever." And then I feel like it started with that before I ever got the confidence to write any songs or anything like that. So
Right.
I definitely started first in just free writing and journaling and writing
Mhm.
letters to my grandmother and writing letters to pen pals. Y'all don't remember pen pals. Y'all
Yes.
don't remember
Yes.
having
Pen
a pen pal.
pals.
But no, I used to
Yes.
literally like write like that. And then I started to hear, "Oh, you're good, you're good." And then I'm like, okay, well, I sing a little bit and I can write a little bit. So maybe I
Mhm.
should try writing songs. Maybe I should try, putting things together. And that didn't come until much later. Maybe a little bit after towards the end of college, I started writing
Mhm.
songs. And so just I think in the beginning of it, it's more so, I think everybody probably starts out writing trash, and you're not that good when you start writing.
That's
But then
true.
you realize, I think now where I am, it's like, as long as it's true to me, and
Right.
as long as it is something that I can relate to, and of course something that I feel like God has given me,
Mm.
then I always feel like if it's good for me, somebody will relate to it, even if it's
Right.
just one person. And thankfully, thank God, it's always going to end up being more than one person. But
Right.
I started to develop the confidence, and the more confidence I got, or the more confidence I gained, the more I felt like, oh, okay, I can, I am a songwriter.
Right.
I may not be, this one or that one, but I am a songwriter, and I do have something to say, and I do have something to offer, in the songwriting area. So I think, and I feel like it's still a process right now, even with music that I do now. I kind of like to um kind of sit with a writer, like somebody that I really, really like. And,
Mhm.
or, I'll get like tracks, or I'll get ideas. Like somebody will call me and say, "Oh, I have an idea for this," or whatever. And then
Mhm.
I like to kind of, I love to collaborate, honestly. I really do.
Mhm.
But I think that's more so about like having the conversation, sitting down, kind of getting the idea, brainstorming, and then
Right.
being able to feed off of other people. That always works for me too. So
Oh, cool.
most times it ends up being me taking something that I've already written. Like honestly, it'll literally be like a caption or a thought that I had. So I guess I'm inspired by like pick moments and stuff like that. And
Mhm.
then I'll write it down just in my notes or whatever. And then when I get a track, or when I get, into a conversation with somebody else, I kind of somehow find a way to tie in, what I've already written down into that conversation or into that idea. So it's all kind of like a melting pot. In my opinion, there's no method to it. Some people I know are like method writers. Like they can
Right.
sit down and they can just get into it, and I'll just be amazed, like, wow, you really did that. But I feel like for me, it's more like a stack. kind of situation. Like it
Mm-hmm.
starts like this, and then I get inspired by this, and then somebody else helps me with the idea, and then I get an idea from the music, then I get an idea from the drums, then I get an idea from, it kind of like comes together like that for me.
Okay.
So that's
Okay.
kind of my process.
Cool. All
That
right.
makes sense.
So all your singles I have them,
Mhm.
but this one
Oh
single that you
gosh.
just released, when I tell
Mm-hmm.
you I play it, I can play it all day long. I'm at work
Mm.
playing it because I feel like Not Forgotten is like I feel
Oh
like
man.
God was speaking to you.
Oh
And I
man.
feel like that was a message that you had to give to us, that God has not forgotten us. When I tell you I cry to it, I listen to
Yeah.
it, I
Yeah.
write to it. That's one of my
Mm-hmm.
songs that I write. Cause like I said, when I write, I listen to music. I listen to Kurt Franklin, Todd Tribbett. I listen to
Mm-hmm.
Donald Lawrence. I listen to Kurt Carr, and I also listen to Richard Smallwood. Those are like my top
Yeah,
because I feel like they
those are the
make
standard.
dramatic, like theater
The
songs. So I
standards.
listen
Yeah.
to that. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but when Not Forgotten, when I tell you, like that is
Mm-hmm.
my theme song. So
Yeah.
like I told you before, you're gonna hear
Mhm.
that a lot on my stuff because
Yeah.
that's how I feel. Like God is telling me, this is my promise to you. I've not forgotten you, no
Oh
matter
yeah.
where you was at. Now you're
Mm-hmm.
here,
Now
and
you're
now
here.
it's time for me to do what I
Yeah.
need to do with you, and I have not forgotten. But that song is so
Yeah.
pure, Anisha. I mean, like
Let me
pure.
let me say about that. First of all, I did not write "Not Forgotten." My friend Lawrence Dotson, and this I'm
Oh, okay.
glad that you brought this up. I wish that I had known we would specifically be talking about this song because I would have kind of invited him to kind of share with us. But if I could give a little backstory on "Not Forgotten," it was a song that was brought to me by one of my producers. So we released a song last year. So that was 2000, that was 22 last year. Not Forgotten came to me, had to be, maybe 12 years ago.
Wow.
And I'm personally amazed by that. I don't know about anybody else, but the fact that the very first time I heard Not Forgotten, it was just like it is now. It was just piano, just vocals, lyrics, and piano. And
Hmm.
I purposely didn't want to change it because the first time that I heard it, I literally like broke. I broke. And
Wow.
that was almost 13 years ago. I
Hmm.
broke because I had just gotten signed to a deal. I just got married,
Hmm.
and there was just so much change happening around me. And I kind of went from like traveling and like being single and doing this and doing that,
Right.
this stuff. And then my life just kind of like it was God literally squeezing me into, like, molding me into what I really needed to become. It was like he gave me some time, and then he really started to mold me. And when you're being molded, it's uncomfortable,
It
and
is.
I was in that place where I had felt like, okay, my life was, we were on a high. We were on a high from marriage. We were on a high from everything, just like life and living. And then like stuff just really life started lifing,
Right. It'd be like that.
it just literally started lifing. And I was like, okay, God, but I thought, things were going to go this way. We were obedient. We did this, we did that. I didn't know if it was, we wanted to have a kid. I was having struggles having a baby. It was like
Mhm.
so much stuff going on.
Yeah.
And I was like, Lord, this is kind of like, I thought you were taking me here, but now I feel lonely and I feel forgotten. I feel like,
Right.
you really, really kind of flipped the script on us. And the song came to me, and
Wow.
I just broke. I just broke. And I knew from 12 years ago, from that moment, that it was always something that a song I would always come back to, no matter what I recorded, no matter what I did, no matter, and I was signed to one label at that time, and then that didn't work out. Then I got signed to another label, and through all of my transition in my life, the song just kept following me, kept following me, kept
Wow.
following me. And so in that time, in that
Mhm.
12 or 13 years, and I'm comfortable sharing this because he shares his testimony all the time. But even in that like 12 years time, Lawrence, he was, church guy, church, I think he's pastor's kid, and just kind of in and out, 1 foot in, 1 foot out the
Yeah.
church. And he was horribly addicted to substance. He was a substance abuser.
Wow.
And he literally was like, there were times where we literally had to look for him because people
Wow.
wanted to use Not Forgotten for certain things, but I would not, use the song without his permission and without him knowing
Right.
and without him being a part of it. And there were some years that we couldn't find him
Wow.
because he was lost like that. He was gone.
Hmm.
And, I feel like a song that he wrote, a song that God had given him, was following him all the time,
All the time.
waiting for him to get himself together and waiting for him.
Yeah.
Bobby knows Lawrence, and just waiting for him to get himself together. And when he got to that place, the song was waiting for him.
Wow, you see how God works?
God, it literally is such, and he, of course, he tells it best, but it's almost like that, one of those movies or one of those plays where like you have one main idea, but you got like all these storylines, but
Yes.
all these different people's lives, they're coming to this one place, but it's
This one
different.
page.
Everybody has a different aspect of it, but that's how the
Hmm.
song was. It was like the song was just there all the time, and our lives were just kind of like interjecting, coming out, interjecting, and then it just all aligned and came together when it was time. Integrity Music released the song, and it
Hmm.
was something that they chose to be a part of, a women's compilation. It was a motion picture they were working on, and they were just like, oh man, we want this song, and I'm like, okay, I've heard that before.
Right.
I'm gonna hold my song because I know, but they literally were like, okay, we don't know what we're gonna do with the project, but we still want to put the song out because we just love the song. And so, like I said, it's just the song just kind of like, it just keeps following
Hmm.
me. And I always prayed that that's what it would do for people,
Yes.
And every time I hear people, with your testimony or other people say, I just continuously play this song because I know it's God continuing to speak to me when I feel the worst.
Yes.
So that's a little bit of the story behind Not Forgotten.
Love it. I love it. I love
Yeah.
it. I'm telling you, I love it. I love it. And
Yeah.
you was just a viral sensation again
Not a
recently.
viral sensation. Wow.
You all listen.
Let
You
me tell
just
you
broke
something.
the internet a couple of days ago.
I told
Singing, what is the BMIs?
I was at the BMI luncheon.
Yes.
Actually, yeah, my Wardell Malloy, who is one of my producers, he kind of A&Rs all of the singles that I've done so far. He is one of the chairpersons for the BMI Music
Hmm.
Awards, and I feel like, well, I did Holy One. I think that might have been like 2013.
Yeah, I remember when you did
And
that,
then
right?
I did Holy One at the BMI luncheon, and that was not supposed to be a record. And it ended up being such a good night, not just for Holy One, but so many of the other artists and songs. It ended up being such a good night that they later, after the award show, they kind of came to everybody and was like, we want to put this out. And so
Right.
that ended up being something. And if you've ever been a part of that luncheon, it's such a it's an electric vibe. It's very scary because it's a room full of artists, and
Hmm.
when you get in a room full of like people like you, everybody's like impressed.
I I saw. I was like, hold on. I see some look. Don't let me fly out there now, because you know how I give it up for the Figueroas now. You're not gonna. Nah, I sure don't. Let me sip my little
Oh,
ginger ale.
we're not even going to talk about how you've always been the Figueroa 5-0. We're
Yeah,
not
we're
even
not gonna
going to
talk.
get into that. You and Toya, please.
I know, right?
But that's the kind of room that it is. It's not anything shady or anything negative. It's just that you're in the room full of people that are like, they're just as talented as you, if not more
Right.
talented. And it just it takes some stuff to impress us sometimes.
Right.
And I'm a little different because good is good to me. That's just.
Right.
But some people, it's just, some people have seen it all. We've seen it all. So it's a very difficult room. But it's every time I'm asked to come and be a part of the show itself, I just fast and I pray and I'm like, Lord,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to just go in this room and just be like, I don't want to just go regular. Like I gotta go with you. If
Right.
you are not going with me, I can't go because I don't really want to go anywhere and just be there,
Right.
Like
Mm-hmm.
if I have to do something or if I'm called to do something, it has to come with more. It has to come with you. And so that moment that kind of went viral was the most unplanned moment. And a lot of people, some people know, but some people may not know. So I'll just tell a short story. They were doing a tribute for Kevin Lemons.
Okay.
Donald
Yes.
Lawrence, well, no, it's actually Kevin Lemon's choir. But Donald Lawrence and the company singers were just kind of accompanying them, and they were singing Perfect Peace. Perfect,
Mm-hmm.
perfect peace, yeah. And so the song they finished it, the song it went crazy because of course the spirit, anytime everybody sing Perfect Peace is just a problem in
Yes, that's true.
any church
I love
setting.
that song.
But um they had finished the song and it was crazy, but it was like a low mumble.
Mm-hmm.
You have all the singers kind of in the room, kind of mumbling and kind of going with it, but it was still very low. Like nobody was like going for it. So of course Kirk, he jumps up and he goes to the stage and he grabs a mic and he just starts going around the room.
Uh-huh.
And so I think he went to, first he was with like Melvin Crispell, then he had gone to Zacardi, and then he went to somebody else, and then he started walking my way. And I'm like, oh my God, because I still had
You
to sing
know he's
my
gonna tell.
song. But
Right.
I still had to sing my actual the song I was there to sing. So,
Right.
oh God, I don't know what my voice is gonna do. I don't know what to do. I don't know. And it was literally a moment where we crashed into each other. Where he was like, "Sing this song," and it just was a moment in time. It really was a moment in time. And I keep telling people, they, by God's grace, he stopped the song while I was getting ready to end. While I was getting ready to come to the end of my part.
Mm-hmm.
And Timothy was sitting right behind me.
Mm-hmm.
So of course
Yeah.
I was getting ready to turn around and
That's
pass her
why
the
I
mic.
love it because it's here goes sis. Here you go.
What?
Hold on for a second. My
What?
I love it. I
What?
love it. And
And
Timmy
it
was
had it happened. It really would, y'all think something went viral, then it really would have been an
it
issue.
really Timothy was fixing like, all right, because I know my
Listen
sister
to
got
me. Listen. You know my father. He's like, listen, if one go, we all go.
we all going.
That's just that's the rule we've always lived by. So,
That is
that
true.
was that. But it's so funny because I when I left, like the next morning I woke up and I just kept seeing the video, like it just kept popping up.
Mm-hmm.
So I text Miles because I don't know nothing about viral and nothing about none
Right.
of that. CJ and Miles have gone more viral than anybody
Right.
in our family. So I'm texting Miles. I'm like, what does this mean? Why is this what? He's like, Auntie, that's just what. I'm like, well, what do I need to do? What? He's like, you don't need to do anything. Just don't do anything. I'm like, okay, well, I'm just gonna keep posting like I normally post. He was like, well, give it a few days, then you can post some more. So
Look
I
at
was
the
like, oh my
kid.
God, I have to learn this because I don't even know what's going on.
Right. It's a method to the internet.
It's definitely a method. It's definitely a method, but
It is.
it definitely was a blessing, and I was honored to be in the room. And like I said, that I went there to sing, Zacardi and we did a tribute to Tamala Mann. So we sung
Oh yeah,
Now Behold the
y'all
Lamb.
You're demolished.
Oh
And
my
that's some of the
God.
people are
And
saying demolished. That
that
part.
was so special to me. Number one, because Tamala Man is just like,
Yeah.
she's like everything to me. And I didn't even realize how much, my life kind of patterns after hers by,
Yeah.
just with Kirk, hanging out with Kirk and being under that kind of legacy, and then just
Hmm.
promoting. I just love how she just brings her family, they do everything together. Like if you get one man, you getting all the mans. And that's
Right.
like
That's
what
the
I
saying.
really, really appreciate about her, because that's kind of just how my family is. Like when you get me, you get my kids, you get Chris,
You get
you're
everybody.
gonna get the whole thing. So that on top of like singing with Cardi,
Whew.
that in itself, when they asked me to do it, and I was like, "Oh, I'll do Navajo Limb," and they were like, "Oh yeah, and you're gonna do a duet with Zacardi Cortez." I said, "No, no, no, I'm gonna stay home because Zacardi don't need nobody to sing with him." And even sometimes when I go back and watch now, I'm like, "See, he got me there. He tricked me. This is how he tricked me."
Mhm.
But
I
it
don't
was,
hear it. I was like,
it was,
Anaysha,
it was just really, it was a blessing. That whole moment was a blessing.
that's
It was cool.
good.
It was
That's
cool.
good.
Yeah.
That's good. Like to watch you grow and still grow. Even with your
Hmm.
children, get Chris sing. I don't know what Tootie doing because Tootie, listen, I had the privilege of being around Tootie, honey. Tootie does, she want to do, but even with
She is
the husband,
real.
I knew Chris,
Hmm.
since he was younger too,
Yeah.
and he was a part of
Yeah.
Jarlene's life and his whole family. We all kind of grew up in
Mm.
that, little gospel scene at one point, and Chris was always dancing, like, cause
Yeah.
like God took two
Mhm.
talented people into like this. So of course you gotta have the talented children,
Yes.
So, when it
Yes.
comes down to singing and stuff and
Yeah.
your children, how do
Hmm.
you, because I, you did a live, no, little Chris was singing one day. He was like, son, if you're going to be cocky now, and if you're going to be cocky, you got to make sure you're hitting the notes right.
You
Okay.
got
You can't be
right.
cocky.
You got to be right, baby. You can't. We tell him ain't no sliding. You're sliding. You're sliding. And he said, "No,
So,
mommy, I'm not sliding." I said, "No, you are sliding."
right, you're sliding. So when it comes down to balancing that
Hmm.
life, which
Hmm.
with your husband, your children,
Yeah.
and your children, oh my God, a talent, especially
Hmm.
little Chris. Shout
Hmm.
him out. He's about Sweet Tooth is coming out in a couple of days, and
Thursday.
I can't wait to finish watching because it's a good,
Yeah.
good, good series. But
Yeah.
how do you balance the mother, the minister, the prophet, the
Whew.
praise and worship leader? How do you
Mm.
the talented children from castings and different things? How do you balance it all?
Hmm. You know what? Like today is a prime example. Like you don't get everything perfect. You just can't get everything right. But I always feel like as long as God kind of gives it to me,
Mhm.
I can handle it. Like if it comes my way, I can handle it. And I'm just learning really last year when we moved to New Zealand for the right, she would say the prophet.
Listen, go ahead,
That's funny.
Anaysha.
That's good. But going to New Zealand, I was just saying the other day, I saw somebody post something about Jamie Foxx about how
Yeah,
it's so important to get rest, because as soon as you down, no matter how valuable you are to the picture, when you're down, your job, somebody's gonna keep your job going. Like somebody's
right,
gonna, keep it going. But being a mom and like being a wife, it's like that's your job, you know.
right,
Nobody else can do that. And it's like it's just been a very, very, it's been full of mountains and valleys trying to figure out how to be the best wife, be the best mom, be the best, worship leader, or the best leader in general. Because there were times I felt like, things were taking hits. I was super focused on being an artist, and I felt like my marriage was taking a hit. I was super focused on my marriage, and I felt like, my a sister or being a friend was taking a hit. So it's like,
right.
it's just kind of like figuring out that like sweet balance or that sweet spot to kind of make it all work. It really just takes the art of balance and the art really that I learned last year of people will be okay.
Right.
People will be people will
Right.
be okay. I left for 6 months, and when we were getting ready to make the decision to move to New Zealand,
Right.
it was like it was debilitating. Like I was like, I can't leave for 6 months. Like
Right.
I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm doing this. We got school, we got this, we got that. And then when I sat down and thought about it, and I really, really not just thought about it, but I really prayed about it. And I really sought after God about it because, like I said in the beginning, if God brings it, I always feel like it's down and process and consider. So when it came, I said, okay, it looks impossible, but how can we make it work? How will it work for
Right.
our family? How will it end up working out for me? And I couldn't imagine leaving church for 6 months, leaving my parents for 6 months, not sure what's gonna happen with them and what's
Right.
gonna happen with this and happen with that. But when we did it, it literally opened heaven. It really
Yes.
opened up heaven for me. I didn't realize how much vocal trouble I was in, and taking that 6 months to really,
Yeah.
really rest and not have any obligations to sing or any obligations to really do anything but take care of my kids, my family. It really, really opened up heaven for me. It opened up the world to me. It really opened up my
Right.
eyes to see that a lot of stuff that I thought I couldn't do, that I can do. And it's probably best for me to do it while I'm rested and do it into or to get my rest so that when I'm done with the rest, I can do whatever it is that I'm supposed to be doing effectively. Because you
Right.
could think, you have a million things to do and you think you're doing it effectively, but you're not.
That's true.
And so once I took that break and once I got that rest, I came back and I really felt so much stronger than I've ever been. Really,
Mhm.
like really vocally, creatively, as a leader, as a wife, as a mom. I know my family really appreciated me, literally putting everything else aside and saying, no, this is what's best, for
Right.
our family. Like, I know that they needed that. And so it was something that I just had to do. And it
Right.
exactly what I was supposed to do.
Good.
So
Okay.
the balance is it's not easy at all, but it is
Right.
possible.
Yeah.
It is
Cool.
possible.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. So, do you have any questions for me as a writer?
Oh my
And then
goodness.
after that, I'm gonna take some questions from some of our viewers had questions, so I'm
Okay.
gonna take some of those. But
Okay. Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
ask me.
Let's see. So when did you realize that um writing playwriting, or I don't know if you call it playwriting or if you call it
Mm,
just writing, or but when did you realize that um putting productions and putting those things together was something that you were supposed to be doing? Like, was there ever a time where you were like, oh well, this is just fun, or was it that when was that moment when you were like, oh no, this is what I'm supposed to be doing?
okay, so I wrote my first play in 2023.
Mm-hmm.
For my church. I don't even
Mm-hmm.
know how I just did it. I think I was just part of the performing arts, and I said, I
Mm-hmm.
got an idea. And
Mm-hmm.
it was like the rendition of the Scrooge. I just got this idea. And I
Mm-hmm.
just thought of big Broadway, right? Broadway scenes and
Yeah.
singing and dancing. Because anything that when I write, I always is always humongous.
Yeah.
So 2003, but then when 2003 came out, so my dad got real sick,
Yeah.
and I wound
Mm-hmm.
up giving him the kidney in
Yes.
2004, and that in 2004 was that Christmas, I believe, or I know it was that, I don't know, it was an Easter or a Christmas. No, it was a Christmas. I
Mm-hmm.
just gave my dad the kidney, got out the hospital, did the play for the church. Still didn't want to do plays. Oh, I just was something that I just got an idea.
Wow.
I left the church for a long time,
Mm-hmm.
and God was downloading plays,
Mm.
just plays. And I'm like, why am I getting it? I don't go to church. I don't want no parts of them people.
I
Why is he
got it.
downloading this stuff?
Mm.
So he just kept downloading. And I think at that time, I think I wrote 4 plays
Wow.
at that time.
Like
But I
how
never,
time was that?
I wasn't going from the church for a long time. I was going for a long time,
Yeah,
but then I
that's really what
after
I was trying to get at. Like how long you just let that rock like that. Like that's really what I was. Oh,
okay, I let it rock.
moving
I
on.
let it rock for more than 5 years.
Yeah.
5 years. And as I left the church, I was writing, then God started speaking to me prophetically. And I'm like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
now you're doing too much because I told you I don't want no parts of church. And I came back to church and I started writing again. And I wrote Heavenly Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when God said, this is your assignment. And I was like, this is not my assignment. He said, yes, it is.
Yeah.
And he gave me this play that I
Mm-hmm.
just finished writing that I'm in production now for. And I said to him, and I'm gonna give
Mm-hmm.
people a little bit, and I said, why are you giving this to me? Just like that. And God
Yeah.
said to me, how can you continue to fight who you don't know? And it
Mm-hmm.
blew my mind, like, wow, okay. And
Mm-hmm.
that's when I realized, because like I said, and I spoke before you got on, I said, writing for me was not something that I chose. God chose it for me. In
Mm-hmm.
school, when it came down to reading and writing, don't ask me nothing because I
Mm-hmm.
didn't get it. I couldn't connect with it. It was
Mm-hmm.
the weakest thing for me.
Yeah.
And if you would have asked me what I was going to be, I would have probably said a hairdresser,
Yeah.
a A&R, or a music manager, because I did that well too when it came down to choosing talent. So
Yeah.
it was never going to be writing because that was
Mm-hmm.
not my strong for it.
Mm-hmm.
So when he gave it to me, I knew that gift when he came from God.
Yeah.
Nobody could download biblical stories like he was downloading to me. I keep saying this is my Enoch experience, because that's how I feel. When it's time for me to write, when I know it comes from God, it flows like the river. It's like
Mm.
water. It's like scene after scene after song after song after everything is in my mind.
Mm.
And then I just write. I don't just write words. And now I'm writing, I'm putting songs
Mm.
to things, and it's like big and big. And I'm like, what, how did you give this to me? And
Yeah.
then when it's done, it's done.
It's
I
gone.
have no I have, when it's done, it's done. And when God
That
downloads again, I pick up the pen and
that
I'm doing it
that's another
again.
question I was gonna ask because I feel like I'm kind of like the same way when I get like when I plan something or when I write something or record something, I'm like, okay, um, maybe I could have added this to it, or maybe I could have added that to it, or maybe I could have but it's in the moments like the time that I feel like when I'm finished a project, when I feel like there was nothing more I could do to it, that's how I really know that it was something that I wasn't even a part of. Like I was just
Right.
used for it, but
Use
it
right.
didn't even it wasn't for me. It wasn't about me. It wasn't even it. God just used me to get it out. But that
Yes.
when I go back and I'm like, oh, I could have did this. I could have did that. Then I knew I was too involved with it. Just my flesh and
Mm-hmm.
my own personal stuff was too involved in it. So I was gonna ask like, do you find that when you're finished with the project, you're finished and you're just ready to move to the next thing?
Sometime I get that,
Hmm.
oh, I need to add something else to it.
Yeah.
And anytime I do that, it never works. I
Mm-hmm.
just
Like,
leave it
yeah.
alone. And
Yep.
I'm like, God, are you done? Are
Mm-hmm.
you finished? I get into this zone, and anybody that's known me, that's been around me, knows I get into this bubble with God. Like it's just me and him against the world. And I
Yeah.
and that's how he downloads with me. And I don't come out until I
Mm-hmm.
come out the funk when I'm done. And for the play that I just finished
Yeah.
writing, and I'm going in production for it now, it took me 6 years to write it, right, Nay? I gave myself
Wow.
a time frame, November 2023. What year was in? We in 24, right?
Yeah. Well, no, we're
Okay.
going to 24.
All right, right. 2022. I said November
Mm-hmm.
2022, I'm going to finish this. God,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna finish it. I kept going on the computer trying to finish it. Going on the computer trying to finish it. Would not happen. And remember, I was sitting in my bed, in the middle of my bed, and it was like heaven came down, and God said,
Mm-hmm.
"Phew," and I was delivered at that moment in my
Wow.
bed, not in church, in my bed.
Yeah.
And that minute, God started just taking stuff away from me. Not
Yeah.
that I asked him to.
Yeah.
And I was like,
He
God, what's
just knew
going
what
on?
you needed.
Yeah, he said, now was the time. Now you can finish this. And
Yeah.
I finished it before the time frame I gave myself. And when I finished it, I closed the computer and I said, and now it's done.
It's
And it
done.
took me 6 years, not realize January was 7 years. And I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. 7 years, that's the year of completion. God knew what he was
Mm-hmm.
doing. It was
Yeah.
all designed for him. And
Yeah.
now that it's completed, the doors, Nate, when I tell you the doors that he's opening up for me are
Mm.
bananas. Like I cannot wait to
You
be
know,
able
I
to
know.
share. To share and it really is bananas. And he did tell me I'm going to blow your mind. So just
Mm-hmm.
prepare yourself for it. And I said, with this gift, God does he does everything perfect.
Yeah,
And
he
with
does.
this gift, well, I can't take no accolades from it.
Yeah,
I
that's what it is.
cannot say nothing about this without saying God,
Yeah,
because it's not me. It's not me at
absolutely.
all. So
Absolutely.
I think he that's how he designed it for me.
Yeah.
I
I,
grew up when in church. Nate, I was very popular.
yeah.
I
Mm-hmm.
sung, but I ain't care about that. But
Mm-hmm.
I was a ones and a twos, so I was popular.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I didn't think that
My
this
thing.
would be my thing, my assignment.
Yeah.
I
Yeah. What I love most is that God don't care about none of our
none.
stuff. He don't care about nothing that we hung up on about ourselves. Oh, I'm this. I'm good at this. Or I feel like I can do this. Or I feel like I should be doing that. Or I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that.
Yes.
Like her. I don't like him. I don't want to work with this person. I don't. But God don't care nothing about none of that. Because when
No.
he's ready to use you, he most likely will bring the thing that you hated the most right up to the surface, or the people that you didn't want to work with the most, he'll bring them right up to the surface, and you be like, oh, this is the person kind of make this hit. And when it's God, you realize, it's not that hard to get over yourself, at
It's
the end of the
not.
day, because you're like, okay, I have to.
Right.
But then you're like, oh, all this time I was wasting time. I was
Yep.
wasting time not running from this, or I was wasting time running from this person or working with this person. So that's like my favorite part about God, is that he our insecurities, he uses those things to push us. He uses those things to get the best out of us. And so,
Yes.
yeah.
That is true. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm just a regular, degular,
Mm-hmm.
smegular girl from the Bronx. So, you know,
That's a regular.
a
That's a regular.
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 Right. That's it.
I
Ah,
promise you. Listen,
yeah.
if he could use Cardi, he could use me.
Right. That's how I feel. True. Yeah. But anyone have any questions? Because we gonna come over. Nisha gotta, she gotta wind down her husband, her children. Anyone have any questions before we go? This was
Oh my
so
God.
great.
I promise, because why? Yes, yes. Thank y'all so much for coming on and staying with us and helping us be acts.
Yes.
No, but I'm just excited. I'm excited about what God is doing for you. And I'm excited about just God's plan all along was all of this. It was all
Yes.
this. It was you. It was me. It was these kids. It was, God, even taking us, losing Pastor White, and taking our
Yes.
loss and taking hurt. It's just like, he used it all he just used it all for his glory.
Yes, he did, because that was hard. And I
I
wanted to
know.
give up because my
I know.
dad was first,
Yeah.
then Pastor White, then my aunt
Yeah.
Donna.
Yeah.
So it was like
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
was. But and then I used to say, I wish she was here to see me.
Mm-hmm.
And she could see
Mm-hmm.
that it was some hope for me,
Mm-hmm.
Bishop. Pastor
Right.
White, there was some
I'm
hope
I'm
for
all
me.
right. I'm all
I'm all
right.
right. Everything,
Your
all your pearls,
prayers.
everything you instilled in me.
That's
Yeah.
right.
I'm
That's
moving.
right.
I'm keeping your legacy alive.
That's right. And I
Yeah.
I I know enough to know that she knows. She
Yes.
knows. She knows. He
Yeah.
knows.
Yeah.
Everybody knows. I was the same way. My grandmother, she was the dramatic person, and she always wanted me to, like, she would set us up. She would write her plays, and she would put her plays on at her senior
Mm.
citizen center. and she would do it in schools. And so she would put me and Timothy up. She would make us do the skits, and we used to do Shirley Caesar's No Charge. So grandma would put us up. She would set us up, and then she would tell us, y'all can sing, but y'all too dead acting. Y'all get up on the stage, y'all just use your voice, and you think you can do all that, but you need to use your hands. You need to step out into the crowd, and you need to cry a little bit. And we'd be like, grandma. But now I'm looking at my son, and he's like all of that stuff. He's like using his hands, and he's so dramatic,
Uh-huh.
so much so that I'd be like, son, you're just being really dramatic right now. God, God really used that. And I sit there and I'd be like, oh my God, I wish my grandmother could see this. I wish she could see these hands and these
Yeah.
stepping out into the crowd. But I know that she knows, I know
Right.
she knows. So God, he's using all those things to get the best out of us.
Yes.
That's all.
Okay.
That's
Somebody
all.
had a question. They said,
Yeah.
Anaysha, what's next for you?
What is next for me? You know what? I'm in a season right now where everybody keeps saying, "Nay, what are you doing next?" I know you a mom, and you push your kids and you push CJ, and it's so much going on with them. Like really, 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 I have so many things just lined up with them, and just wanting to kind of be the best momager. And Chris works with Siege, and I work with Avery, and we do this, and I'm working with other kids and doing other things. But I definitely still have music in my heart, and I
Yes.
definitely still have music that I have to get out. And I definitely still want to continue to travel. I'm really, really, my next thing that I really, really want to do is write a book. That's really,
Mm,
really what I want to do. I want to write my book, and I'm just getting my ideas together to kind of figure out what I want to do and what direction I want to go in. Chris and I are also, we are also in the works. We are just kind of preparing ourselves for a music and arts program for schools, for students, for kids.
wow.
We really, really are kind of in the groundwork and in the foundation work of that, just kind of like putting things together to be like, there's so many talented kids out here. They're
So many.
really, that just don't have the resource. They just don't have, the opportunities. And
Yes.
so, and they don't have the people that they can kind of have work with them and call and make the calls for them, and kind of
Right.
tell them what they should wear and what they shouldn't wear or whatever. And so I feel like, God has really, really blessed Chris and I to kind of be able to move in this direction. Honestly, when we first got together, that's kind of something we always wanted to do before we
Right.
even started having kids. So that's definitely something next for me. I'd love to write my book. I would love to put out some more music. And that's just it.
Yeah.
I'm
That is so dope.
chilling. I'm very, very content with where I am, but I know God has more.
Yes,
I know,
he
yeah.
does.
Yep.
He does. I can't wait to see more
Yep.
and hear
What's
more
next
from
for you?
you. Oh, what's next for me? Oh,
Hmm.
wow. So I'm currently working on. I'm working on something for you guys. I love you guys.
Yes.
I'm working
Yes.
on something for you guys.
I have your tickets May 8th. You need to be
Yes,
there because we're
buy
working on
your
our new.
tickets.
Just
Yes.
for anybody who doesn't know, we Shanequa and her team came into our church. Like this is I hate to say this and I love to say this. The fact that we did what we did in a week,
In a week.
2 rehearsals, y'all. 2 rehearsals.
Rehearsal.
We took people who don't dance, don't act, don't do none of this stuff. We took those people, and these girls worked. I screamed at everybody. I just
Yes,
yelled
she
and I
should.
pushed and I insisted like I do. I didn't even know I had the reputation. But we
She
get the job
was
done.
all
I gotta
right.
get done. But we made our Easter production where our church is still talking about it. And when we started talking about what we want to do for Christmas, and people are already like, trying to get in, sign in. I want to audition. I want to do this. I want to do that because it really I know pandemic kind of had people gifts kind of sleeping a little bit. Not
Yeah,
everybody, some people flourished through the pandemic. Some creatives were able to really, really, go for it in the pandemic. But some people really, really thought it was the end for their creativity. And I
yeah,
feel like that was one of the awakening moments, specifically in our church, inspired our people to say, oh, it's not too late for me to do this. Oh, it's not too late, for us to, I can move, I can work these knees a little bit, I can
yeah.
work my elbows a little bit. And it really, really inspired people. And if your gift is not inspiring nobody, hang it, hang it up, hang
Yeah.
it up, hang it up. But your gift is lighting a match under people. So
Thank you.
that's
Thank
that.
you. Yeah,
That
so thank you.
so you
I'm so
said
happy.
you got your production that you're working on now.
Yeah, I'm working on my production now.
Mhm.
Um, I'm not gonna speak on it because I can't. I was
Mm-mm.
told not to.
No, don't
God
tell
has
me.
really opened the doors for it. And when I
Good.
say that you guys don't want to miss the
Mm-hmm.
up and coming announcements that I have coming up and
Mm-hmm.
how God has opened the doors for me
Mm-hmm.
with being able to be attached to people that is are a part of that Broadway market
Mm-hmm.
and different things like that. And
Yeah.
also, even with this production, God, with the production I'm doing, He told me to do a soundtrack to it.
Mm.
And at first, I was like, a soundtrack, and He was like,
Okay.
a soundtrack. And
Yeah.
when I realized, when I spoke to someone that's on Broadway, was like, do you know how much these soundtracks go more platinum than artists? Are you crazy?
It's a
Are
fact.
you crazy?
It's a
So I'm
fact.
be working. So I'm gonna be pulling you in. So
Listen, I'm here. I'm
yeah, but
here.
yeah, he's going to do a soundtrack. But I'm excited. I can't really talk
I'm
about too much,
here.
but I'm excited. I'm so happy that God has opened these doors. I'm so happy that I'm
Yeah.
being obedient and I'm stepping out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stepping out.
And
I'm not
so we get
shy.
in our own way.
Yeah,
We
yeah, I'm
get in our
stepping
own
out.
way.
I got my grandbaby that she walking
Mhm.
already and
She's
just
walking.
made not walking, excuse me. I had a dream that she was
That's
walking.
what
She's
you see.
crawling. She started crawling at the end of 5 months. And I'm not talking about this. I'm talking about going.
Taking off.
She thinks she's grown, like she's standing up and
Yeah.
trying to walk. Like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah. No, that means you had the dream. That means she's gonna be doing it soon enough.
Yeah, I had a dream. I told my daughter I had a dream that she was walking. She was walking,
She's gonna be
and
doing it.
so I'm just excited. I'm excited. Shout out to my children. My son
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
about to get married
Yeah.
soon. Yeah, y'all got to come down for that.
My
And I'm a
baby.
grandmother. My daughter Sky.
I
I'm
can't
gonna leave in
believe that.
Brooklyn.
I
I
can't
know,
believe
right?
it. You don't. First of all, you don't look like nobody's grandmother.
No, I remember you said Neek. What? You a
What?
grandmother?
What
Like,
is
girl,
happening?
I done knock Sky up. Nah, I love my boyfriend. I love him. I love Terrence. That's my son. He treats my daughter well. But
Yeah.
yeah, so I'm
Yes.
excited.
Yeah. I'm excited too. I'm excited for you. I'm excited for all of us. But
Yes, me
thank you.
too.
Love
Thank
you,
you.
Bobby.
Yes, Bobby. Bobby he's the best. Like
No, he's the most supportive.
yeah, he is. Hey, Toya, I love you. I love all you guys. I thank you all for bearing. Hi, God, mommy. Joyce McDaniel. I'm so happy that
Love
Leon.
you, Lee.
That you guys bear with me with all the technical difficulties.
Yes.
I'll tell you what I did. I put the link on my Facebook, and guess who can only see it? Me.
You.
I ain't
Just you.
savvy. I ain't savvy. I just know how to press
You need,
record and that's
you
it.
need a little assistant back there.
I do. But Bobby was going off on me.
You
Oh
need a
my
little
gosh,
assistant back
Shanequa, yeah.
there.
But
Oh no, he texted me too. He's like, you're supposed to be on right now. I'm
right,
like,
Bobby knows.
oh my God.
I said, Naya's coming. Don't worry, she's coming. But that's why we had the technical. This I was like, I got y'all. I
Yeah.
got you.
Yeah.
But thank you so much, sis, for jumping on.
No, thank you.
Love you so much.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Bobby rolling his eyes. Thanks everyone. Hey,
Oh,
Craig,
my
that's my
husband is here.
brother.
Hi, husband.
Yes. The
Yeah.
same Jesus.
Oh, not the
No,
shoulders.
the same.
Not
Amen.
the
All
shoulders.
right.
Yo,
But
you was at the Thai concert.
yes.
Chris was telling me you was there, but I didn't see. I
First of
missed.
all,
I missed the opening.
let me tell you
Was that
something.
concert not insane?
Todd Tribbett. Let's talk about that concert for a quick second. Todd, let me tell you something. I always was a fan of Todd
That was the
Tribbett.
most fun concert I've been to in a
That
long time.
concert was the bomb.
I didn't even know you was there.
Because Jules had to open up, so I
I
sung,
didn't know. I
that's
got there right when Ty, like, I guess he was in like maybe his second or third song. I got there.
yeah. I left after a while because
There was a
the
lot
church
of
people
people in
thought
it.
that they was acting like I felt like they thought this was a rap concert. That's how they was acting. So in order for me to keep my Jesus and my Holy Ghost and my boyfriend, we was about to tear it up because I had to turn around and tell them, y'all keep playing with me
Y'all
over
don't
here.
know me. Y'all don't know
Yeah,
me.
how y'all behind on top of our heads
I'm
and
saved, but I'm only one day saved. That's what you told
one day. That's it. Only one night though. Only
me. Only
one
one
night.
night.
Anyway, yeah, I had to leave, but yeah, we
It was
opened up with
really good.
Jules.
It was so good.
It was good,
But I was
and
so
that's
happy for Jules and Bria.
yeah.
And
Bria did her thing. I love
yeah,
Bria. So sweet. She did her
yeah,
thing. She did her thing.
yeah.
I was tired. I told Jules, I said, "Day, I'm retiring because my knees." I said, "I can't do this.
Listen,
This,
the knees.
that's
The
it.
knees
That's
can't
it."
take it.
I was awesome.
It was good.
It was
It
good.
was good. It was
Yeah.
good. But I love you.
Love you. Thank you guys. Love you guys.
Everybody.
Until we meet again. Have a blessed night. Enjoy the rest of your nights with your loved ones. Love you guys. Thank you once again for coming on. Thank you, Bobby. Thank you, Anaysha. I love you. Thank you,
I love
Chris. I gotta love you too because you let
yeah.
your wife jump on here.
That's
Love
right.
you
That's
guys.
right.
Have a great day.
Good night,
Have a great
everybody.
night. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.